Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? Hashtag Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Sayo Mesale, and today Franca and I were trying to be solo in the studio. How are you, Franca? How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
How did your weekend go?
Very well. Exciting. Exciting. Went for Kenny Black show.
I had such an amazing time. I've not gone out in a long time.
It was fun.
I wish I had stayed till the end, till the after party. But what are you going to do for there?
I
It's
could.
because I
I
don't drink,
left.
I don't smoke,
Yeah.
I
We
don't
left almost the same
womanize.
time.
Eh?
We left around the same time.
Yeah, we left like maybe like 30 minutes after you left.
Yeah.
So,
It
because
was
that was
fun though.
almost at the end of the show when you left.
It
It was
was
quite
fun.
good. I
It was
enjoyed the
fun.
show. Comedy, music comedy was good.
Lege and Oba Solomon.
Cider Bodge.
Oba Solomon was it for me.
And they kept on saying that they wanted the content to be exclusive because really I've not seen it on any blog.
Oh yeah.
They wanted
Even
the
the
content
videos.
they wanted the content to be
They're not
exclusive.
anywhere
So
at
I
all.
am hoping that they would upload it on his YouTube page so that people can go watch. It was such a beautiful production.
No, but I've seen videos of Portable. His energy.
No, that energy
That
was
energy
crazy.
was crazy.
Somebody said that I didn't know that they had Portable fans in this crowd.
I didn't know bank EDs
We're
were Portable's fan.
I can't be that
I
guy's
can't be
fan.
that
I'm
guy's
sorry.
fan. I'm sorry. I can't. His energy.
No, that energy is something else.
Oh no.
Messi has joined us via Zoom. Hi, Messi.
Hello,
How
good
are
evening.
you?
I'm very well, thank you.
What
Thanks for
happened?
having me.
What happened to you? Nigeria happened to you, Abby.
You know we can't say this. We can only say this behind the scene. I mean, some days are like that.
Some days, right? I get you, my
But
dear.
it's a good thing that yes, some days are like that. You just want to hibernate, and it's just that we're committed to this course, and of course we have to be here, whichever
Absolutely.
way.
And we thank God for technology, right? Thank God for technology. I mean,
Yeah.
we can do
Yes.
this from anywhere in the world. Thankfully.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing.
Absolutely. All right.
Yes.
So if you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Dee is supposed to be part of us tonight. We're not sure where she is now, but I'm sure she will join us much later. If you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, it's at Official Upgrade TV. Click on the subscribe button, like, share, and of course, introduce other people to share and join the conversation. So I said to you guys yesterday, and I mean every single word of it, that this week is Lamentations. Yesterday we read chapter 1 and chapter 2. Today we are continuing in the book of Lamentations, chapter 3. And here's what we found. This is the topic for tonight. We're talking about the federal government's response to the planned protest. I mean, so many things have happened between yesterday and even today. A lot has happened. So we want to just have, like a holistic conversation of some of the things that we found around the news as response from the federal government. And here's what we found as today's quote. It says, strikes are not merely economic weapons. They are often expressions of social and political discontent, right? So when we open our phone lines, we really love to hear your thoughts on how you think. Do you think there's so much sincerity with the federal government's responses that we've seen all over social media, or do you have like a second are you second guessing the federal government? Whatever it is that your thoughts are around the federal government's responses towards the planned protests, we'd love to hear your thoughts. But first, let's run off on a break. When we come back from that break, we want to see what we found in today's news. Hi, thanks for staying with us now. World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. This day is dedicated to raising awareness about the plight of human trafficking, victims, and promoting and protecting their rights. Human trafficking is a crime and grave human rights violation of enormous scale, which is prevalent in situations of vulnerability. Human trafficking involves the illegal trade of people for various forms of exploitation, including forced labor, sexual exploitation, and involuntary domestic servitude. The day serves as a call to action to support and protect those who are vulnerable and to work towards eradicating this global problem. Events and campaigns on this day often focus on educating the public, sharing information about resources for victims, and advocating for stronger laws and enforcement measures. This is such an important day. It just brings to mind a lot of videos that I have seen on YouTube, about how globally children are being trafficked, right? As sex slaves, so many things, so many really crazy things happening globally around child trafficking. It's a big menace. And again, it brings to mind the movie that Moabudu did. She released the sequel, or would I call it the part 2 of the film. That's Oloture. Is also speaking to child trafficking. I am from Edo State, Benin. I remember that, the conversations around why my father decided to go to the north to have all his children, it was really prevalent when everybody in Benin has one family member or the other in Italy, or just like literally illegal that have illegally migrated to other countries. Some, voluntarily, some involuntarily, right? So it's a big issue, and I every opportunity I get to speak around human trafficking, I don't know. There's some things that I can't even just imagine, honestly, how somebody takes my right, violates me, rape, all of those kind of things. I can't even imagine it. Then you now think about what these girls are going through, think about it 10 times over. I was watching a video how somebody said that, people died on the speedboat. They promised them a ship, a whatever. They came in a speedboat to move them from here to Gabon. Scary.
Some years ago, there was a story, as in, I heard the story from the person, her mom. I think things were difficult, and then her mom, they were trying to survive. I don't know, but her mom actually gave her to the people, and they actually said, oh, they were going to take her abroad and all and all and all. So they took her. So she was practically staying with them. So they will tell you, oh, they had to process this, they had to process this. She was practically staying with them. Guess what? Well, they were sleeping with her. And it was her mom. She was 18 or thereabout, between 18 and 20. It was her mom that took her. So it's not like...
Maybe even if it was not an auntie.
She was innocent. And guess what? The first D&C she did was because she got pregnant there. She didn't travel. So trust me, just that a lot of Nigerians don't know what they call therapy and all that. She needed that because for a very long time, she didn't understand why her and her mom didn't seem to get along. But by the time she told her story, I understood where that was coming from. But at the same time, do you want to blame her mom?
People do the best they can with what they know. At that point, it was like, if you are able to successfully take your child abroad,
and she succeeds,
the family has made it, but you don't understand the kind of trauma those people have to go through. I really don't. I just really pray for them, honestly. Mercy, let me come to you. What did you find for us today in the news?
All right, so a quick one. It's just about the borrowings. So it looks as though we're in for another borrowing, as this government led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has requested a fresh $500 million loan from the World Bank to improve dam safety and enhance water resource management across the nation. So this is actually for the purpose of agriculture. And this is despite the outcry from many Nigerians about more debts and the fact that, there's the hunger crisis, food inflation, the agitation, uncertainty, in the land. So it's when I found this, as soon as I saw it, I just thought that, this is the only thing that would pass for me for it's in the news. And that's because, number one, I don't understand how you have 21 billion to build a house for the vice president, if I'm not mistaken. You have how many billion?
Messi, did we
I
lose
really
you?
don't understand. So, but if you want to look at it, since the taking of office from May 2023, this administration has borrowed from domestic and international sources. Now, between June to December 2023, the government borrowed 3.8 trillion from the Central Bank of Nigeria through the ways and means advances. It also increased the total ways and means to balance of 8.21 trillion, if I'm not mistaken. Now, fast forward, we also had secured 1.95 billion, approximately 1.5 trillion naira in loans from the World Bank. Also in 2024, this was in 2023, right? Within the period that he came on board. 2024 in July, the government sought from the Senate for an additional 8.6 million. When are we going to pay all of these debts? What exactly is going on? What are we borrowing all of these funds for? I just leave it at that.
We'll leave it there.
The country where Nigerians can purchase a 50 kg bag of rice for 40,000 naira. And I'm asking, why is this before the protest?
Is it not obvious?
Okay, so but really, this thing, can we assess, who can assess this rice?
Where are the centers? Were the centers mentioned in the story?
No center, as in, okay, for Lagos, for one, I've checked to see if there's a center in Lagos. They didn't mention it. So they just said centers. And they said, trucks, they just 10,000, just giving us numbers. But nobody has come out to say, it's true, or we have bought this rice. And then, for how long are they going to supply this rice for? Is it just before the protest, or what's the story behind this rice?
We will come back to that story. So my story is our Honorable Speaker of the Senate President. Sorry, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio. He says that where we are today is the outcome of years of insecurity. Many people could not go to farms for almost 10 years and know that, and the president has risen to the occasion. He then says that people who probably did not have their fortune in 2023 elections are thinking they can come through the back door and that would amount to anarchy. He also said that candidates who lost in the 2023 general elections are the ones sponsoring the planned protest. I'll leave the message there and we'll go on a break. When we come back from that break, we want to have a conversation on federal government response, to this planned protest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Discuss all national and social concerns as it affects them. Join your faves from last season: Alpha, Yasmin, Adora, Salma, Morolake, Ezinne, Ite, and watch out for the new additions to the team: Barisudo, Letam, Oluwajeriarare, and Oluwatominini. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us across all our social media platforms, and most importantly, tell every teenager you know to be a part of a special summer edition. Starting from the 12th of August through to the 16th of August 2024, these amazing teenagers will be on your TV screens. Ways Teens Takeover, where the voices of our teenagers count.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, tonight, we want to start the conversation with a significant development from the federal government in response to the planned nationwide protest, right? First of all, Festus Keyamo, the Minister for Aviation, a key figure in the administration, has issued a directive halting the controversial 800% increase in charges by the National Airspace Management Agency, that's NAMA. This move comes amidst the rising public discontent and planned demonstration against that hike. In related economic news, the government has also launched a new initiative to provide 50 kilograms of rice at a subsidized rate of 40,000 naira. That was a story that Franca had taken earlier. Now, this effort aims to alleviate the impact of rising food prices on Nigerian households. Additionally, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has ordered the sale of crude oil in Nigeria. In Naira. So a strategic decision expected to impact the forex market. This policy shift has already led to projections by marketers of a potential decrease in fuel prices, promising some relief from consumers. Now, this conversation is just getting started, right? So we want to just have this conversation around all these responses. What are your thoughts? I really am trying to keep an open mind so that it doesn't come off like I'm biased or whatever. But what are your thoughts on all of these moves that the federal government has made I'll say between yesterday and today, because some of these things were not in the news until this morning when we woke up and started hearing all of these things. All right, so Mercy, let me start with you. We started the Lamentations chapter 1 and chapter 2 yesterday. Today is chapter 3. The federal government's response to the planned protest. What are your thoughts on some of these moves that the federal government have made between yesterday and today?
First off, I would say that, the federal government, there's a disconnect between the government and the people. And looking at some of the statements and the things that they're saying, I think it's quite hypocritical. I don't think that they should be trusted. I just think that this is just another distraction, because some of this move would have been what? So you understood that these were the issues. Did it take the people to scream for you to do the needful? It's a saying you have a family and you have children. You don't wait for your kids to come and scream and go to the neighbor's house and make a hell of a noise about them being hungry and them wanting some basic things before you can attend to them, because it's not a favor. But I'd like to start on this other note then. To some of the responses from, government officials, whether the Senate president. Let me start with poverty, first off. The poverty rate has actually, from 2023, if we look at the statistics, and most times you can't even equate the statistics to the actuality. So the statistics are there, but in reality, people are more poorer than what the statistics are reading. And so according to reports, that poverty rate was estimated to have reached 38.9% in 2023, with an estimated 87 million Nigerians living below the poverty line. That's what was second to the world's largest poor population after India. Does that not worry you? That 40.7% of Nigerians are estimated to live below the international poverty line. Let's not even go through all of this, because this might just be semantics and statistics, right? But let's look at our immediate environment and our reality. Let's look at, the rate of inflation, because don't forget that when inflation comes, it is as though the value of the the value of the currency or the value of the naira has literally also dropped. It doesn't measure up. So you have monies. For instance, if you have like 100,000 naira, is as good as having 50,000 naira. And then what does that do for you? The value, first of all, the naira is also struggling. Inflation is also there. We're talking about minimum wage. We say increase the minimum wage to 70,000. Government is saying, oh, nobody should earn. And that looks like something that we should be excited about. But you ask yourself, how much is a bag of rice? How much is rent? Let's look at our reality. So apart from, looking at the statistics and also looking at, the people around us, how many persons have jobs? How many persons are able to even run business and make profit from it? So these are some of the questions that you ask yourself when you talk about the standard of living, because you want to measure the standard of living. You begin to look at certain indices: access to potable water, access to health infrastructure, access to too many things. So when I hear the Senate president saying that it is those who have actually lost, losers of the elections are the ones sponsoring this, it just shows the disconnect with the people who are calling the shot for this country and the people that they are calling the shot for. It looks as though they live in a different clime. I don't know whether they are in mass. I don't know what part of the world you're in, but it would really make sense if they take us to that part of the world. That part of the world where one egg right now is 215 naira. I can't even imagine that.
A piece of egg. Ha.
One egg is 250 naira. A crate of egg is selling for 5,200, if not more, in some climes. How much are people actually earning? Don't forget that we're still talking about, minimum wage. Before this time, how many states were even able to implement the 30,000 naira minimum wage or 35,000 naira? It is saddening. If you look at the police force, don't worry, we're still talking. I'll just hold off on this particular one. So this is where it is literally very saddening for me. And I just keep asking myself, what exactly is going on? Because it is delusional. And that's why yesterday, if you remember, I kept saying the word narcissist. I kept using the word gaslighting. Because I'm here thinking, are we crazy? Is it that we're just trying to fabricate these issues? Are these not our current reality?
Thank you so much, Mercy, for laying that foundation. Because again, like you, a lot of people are questioning the move of the federal government at this time to say that. So, I mean, was it, if you knew you could sell the bags of rice at 40,000 naira, why did you have to allow it escalate to about 90,000? Somebody said they even bought a bag of rice for 100,000 naira, right? Why did we get to that point where he had to go all the way to that 100,000 naira? Now people are now saying that they want to strike, and you now say that, oh no, we have reduced the prices. Does this mean that you always had the power to solve the problem, but you chose not to solve the problem? Let me hear your thoughts, right? With the federal government responses, what do you think, the planned protests and their responses from the fuel, instructing the IOCs to sell fuel at Naira rates to Dangote, instructing bags of rice to be subsidized to 40,000 Naira. Of course, the issues around, what's the word now? Which other one did they do again? I'm trying to find them. But literally, generally, what are your thoughts on the federal government's response?
So because what I would say is this is just coming out. This is just happening a day or two before the protest. So I don't think it's something that is going to last. You'll be shocked that they just bought those rice. It's not like you can buy those rice. They're just trying to, and it is because of how we, as the citizens, have actually adapted to these things. They just want to give us something. When we have that thing, everybody goes back to relax. So now they've said, oh, publicity, they've said, oh, there's rice out there. Fuel. In another 2 months, these things will go. Nobody will now want to start another rally again. So they're just giving us peanuts to say, you know what, let's give them and they will rest. Do you understand? They're just trying to divert people's attention from the rally. If you have been listening to what's happening on social media, as they are giving us the rice and the fuel at Naira, some other people are saying, oh, if you come out to protest, they're going to burn your shops, they're going to do this, they're going to do that. So where are those other people coming from? Because trust me, people are actually sponsoring those people who are coming out to say anybody who comes out, you understand, you'll be dealt with.
I'm happy you're bringing that because, again, it's like you're talking from two sides of your mouth, right? And that was what Yemi Adamolekun was saying yesterday when we had her during the Enough is Enough segment. She said something that when all of a sudden, for a government that was saying don't protest, the IGP of police is saying that, okay, come out, we'll protect you, and some other people are saying this, that it's now becoming suspicious, right? It seems like all of a sudden maybe they've gotten another game plan. And now, what I want to ask the federal government, these guys that had the audacity and the boldness, there are videos of them in the market going around and telling people that if you come out to protest, they were actually with megaphones on the streets, right? We talked about the women yesterday that were protesting against a protest that said they should not come out to, you are using a protest as a tool to tell people not to come out to protest. Now, this morning we saw videos surfacing online of people going into the marketplaces and screaming and saying that if you come out, we'll burn your shops.
Burn your shops. They were threatening them.
And this is where I always say that where exactly, you are saying that if the government have not authorized these people to make this move, How come these people that had the audacity to go out in the public like this, they didn't cover their faces and all of that? They were not arrested. They were not apprehended, because clearly these people are the ones telling you that if you come out, this protest is going to be bloody. It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be catastrophic. Do you understand what I'm saying? And nobody is arresting them.
Oh, but do you remember what happened during the election? You know what happened during. These same people came out to say, oh, don't vote for this person. You remember what happened when they said don't vote for Labour Party? Did they not do it? They came and they attacked people.
And nobody stopped them.
Nobody stopped them.
Nobody arrested them.
Nobody said it's the same thing. They are coming out now to say nobody should do this, nobody should do that. And nobody is saying anything.
It's so interesting. It's so interesting. But, you know, outside of that, Asari Dokubo, Messi, you shared an interesting video. I took my time to watch that press briefing. You know, I honestly don't understand that angle where people think this is actually politically motivated. That's the part I'm trying to wrap my head around. Why, I've asked this question several times, why do we always think that people are hungry, people are not able to feed their children, people are not able to eat, people are just there. They don't know, they are so apprehensive of, they are panicked as to what will happen to them tomorrow. And all you can think of is that people did not lose an election. People that lost an election, they should wait for their own turn, wait for another cycle. He said something around, this is the time where our own is in power. Messi, let me hear your thoughts. I'm tired.
You know, again, you know, so this is also a case. I would always use a relationship to explain this, because to be very honest, we're in a relationship, and the relationship is between the government and her citizenry. And you know, in some contexts, they say we have entered, you know, the social contract. There's a contract that we have, there's an agreement. And I think that maybe we need to do a reminder to government that we live in a dispensation, you know, it's a democratic setting. Maybe they need to remember that that's, you know, the setting that we live in. First off, everyone has a right to peaceful assembly. We do have a right. What we should be hearing from people who are supporters of this government, because they took an oath, however way, to protect. As they had sworn the oath, it is in the Constitution that, you know, the rights or the protection of the lives and property shall be top priority. I'm paraphrasing now. But it is, you know, government's concern to ensure that lives and properties are protected. So if you have a concern about people going out to protest, don't forget that we're not in a military regime, except this government is trying to tell us something that we don't know, that this is a military regime. Then you expect that you allow people to go out and express themselves. The only time, if you are concerned about, you know, threats or violence and all of that, this is where, that's why you have the Ministry of Information and Orientation across the different states. One would have thought that shortly after the NSAS and everything that had happened, that the government would have engaged in sensitization. There would have been a campaign against violence and, you know, encouraging people to be able to act civil or protest in a way. But no, that's not the case, right? That's not differently. Now, for some of these people who are going out to make, you know, some of these unkept statements, it's a threat. But we're always very quick to look at people to, you know, to declare a terrorist. If it was another individual, I'm sure that it would have just been easy to say, oh, you know, this person is a terrorist. Because these people, as you see them, and that's why it's very easy to, you know, link them to say that the government is complicit in this, especially in states where you have all of them putting out all of this statement that, you know, the government is complicit, because that's a threat. There's even another post that has gone viral on Twitter, where there's some handle that's calling for the Igbo people to leave Lagos between the 1st and the 20th or something, right, of next month. These are things that, you know, the police, the DSS should be concerned about. You know, making those kind of statements, you're telling people that they don't have a right to express themselves.
You know what? Let's go on a break.
Complicit.
Messi, let's go on a break. When we come back from that break, I'd love to open our phone lines to hear your thoughts on all the events. I mean, this week is literally going to be conversations until this blows over. We'll keep talking about it. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, thanks for staying with us. Now, if you just tuned in, it's our ladies' night out, and we're having a conversation around the federal government's response to the planned protest. Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join this conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. Our phone line is also now open. The number to call is 07025007749. Remember to turn off the volume of whatever device it is you're calling from so we don't get a feedback. Messi, you know, I really don't understand. Like, is it not obvious? I mean, government is supposed to be for everybody, right? Most times when I see these things happening, I just keep wondering, is it that the government is selected to govern a few or to govern all, and to govern with fairness and equality and equity? Do you understand? In mind. Because how on earth will people be threatening another person? Do you understand? Tomorrow, if these same people call for a what's it called? A sovereignty, be whatever for their people, you go say they are trying to cause chaos in the country. You know, for every single time we keep on throwing this thing, leave our state, leave our what's it called? Our region.
They make
you
it
are
about
not.
tribes.
You understand?
They tribalize it.
They make it everything about tribe. Same thing we saw play out during the elections, and nothing was done. It's so disheartening that till today I have not seen or heard anywhere that they said those thugs that attacked people that wanted to go and exercise their rights, to vote, were arrested. No. Do you get what I'm saying? And what was even more disheartening for me was when the case went to the Supreme Court, they did not find anything. And we saw all those videos, and nothing was found to say, oh, yes, this really happened. They threw out everything. It doesn't happen that way now. At least we saw them. We saw these things. Let me take a Loma from Abia.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My dear sister, another sister in the house. Good evening.
Thank you.
See, let me tell us. The real enemy of Nigeria is those people that are against the protesters. Those people that are entering into the market, threatening traders. These are the real enemies of this country. Because what they are really looking out for is a little mistake that will cause violence here and there. It's quite unfortunate. And the people they are threatening mainly is from the Southeast. And the Southeast have said, we are not ready for protest. The Southeasterners say we are not ready because every time if there is any protest, they will destroy the Southeasterners' property, they will destroy everything. But we decided this time around, nobody will protest. But I want to let them know, the Southeasterners are no cowards. We are not a coward, but the only thing is that we want to maintain and make sure that we look at what Tinubu's administration will do in this suffering that he has meted to Nigerians. But we are saying no to bad governance. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Loma. Franca.
No, it's annoying when they make it about everybody is buying rice at the same price. Everybody is buying whatever they're buying from the market. Everybody's going to the same market. So why are you tribalizing it? For what? Can't we just?
Intentional.
It's intentional. Why are you making about the Yorubas? Why are you making about the Igbos? Do you understand? Now they went to the market to do that. The only reason they are doing that, see what he just said, that they are targeting the Southeast because these people have shops in the market. Do you understand? And they are telling them, okay, we'll burn your shops. You're threatening them.
And yet,
imagine
nobody has been picked up.
Imagine now somebody, if it was me, and you're telling me you're going to burn my shop, and I know that if you burn my shop, government not going to help me. I go stay house. Because at the end of the day, they go still pay school fees. They go still feed their family. So what are you talking about?
Mercy.
Well, so, I mean, this is not, this is a call. So we're using this medium to call on the police across the entire country, wherever it is that this protest would be happening.
Well, Mercy, is it not obvious? You keep saying this thing. Is it not obvious that these people are not ready to arrest and what's it called, do the needful for these people that are threatening other people? Is it not obvious?
And it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that we will not say that they do the needful. It is the call. Peradventure, they don't know, right?
How can you?
That's why we have this platform. That's why we're having this conversation. That's why we're saying that the Inspector General, that we're calling on the police, we're calling on everybody, that the DSS, the police, if they don't know, they should know, because Asari Dokubo is threatening violence in the Niger Delta against people, and those in Lagos and other parts of the country that are threatening violence, whether or not they're going to do anything, but it should be that, we had put this out there. Because
okay, let me take Dr.
This is what we're called to.
Hold on, Mercy, I'll come back to you. You're live. Good evening.
Dr. Bolade Agola is my name.
Good evening, sir. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for your program. I think we need to exercise caution. We experienced hell during the EndSARS riot. And we are also seeing what is happening in Kenya. We are also seeing what happened in Sudan after election. An election has been won, lost. And people...
Oh my God, Bolade, I wanted to ask you a question. Oh shoot, we lost you. Because I was really hoping to ask that you think this is politically motivated, or you actually think that people are not hungry? Because what will send me to go on the street? I've said this several times. I'm not going to be part of the people going on the street to protest because I believe that it is not effective. But I'm saying that for the people to be, despite all these threats, and people are saying that they still want to go out on the street, does that not tell you something that is just bigger than winning an election? There's something more to this. I don't want to. I choose not to believe that it is because some people are sponsoring it. People that failed in the last elections are the ones sponsoring this. I choose not to believe that. But let me come to you. Go ahead. Okay. Are you there? Okay, I thought I lost you.
Yes, I'm here. I'm hearing.
Go ahead, please.
That is a very, very good one. In fact, it shouldn't be because of the election. But if you look at it very well, you will look at it from the fact that the three major political parties took told Nigerians that they are going to stop fuel subsidy. Sorry, are you hearing me?
Go ahead, quickly. Okay, go ahead, so that we don't.
Okay, the three major political parties that contested in that election said they were going to remove fuel subsidy. We have gone through it in the past. They also said they are going to abolish multiple exchange rates. There is nowhere you do those things that inflation will not come up. Mm-hmm. And inflation is not a friend of food. So everybody knows there is a problem of food. We also know that insecurities have been part of Nigeria since 1999. But in the last 1 year, the government has used both kinetic and non-kinetic forces to minimize it. This thing will not disappear overnight. So what we are saying is that while people are making efforts, you must bear in mind what happened in Sudan. They had a military coup before the protest and all the rest. There is no peace in that country. What happened in Kenya, Nigeria has experienced it. We experienced EndSARS. Homes were burned, shops were burned. I know a shop of a Nigerian that was looted for 3 days in Lekki, just near the toll gate. They removed the CCTV, the ceiling, everything. These are Nigerians, irrespective of where they come. What we are saying is that the government says, okay, I want to bring in more food. For 3 months, let me open the window before the full harvest. And we are not listening. So this is the problem. Everybody knows there is a problem. But I also want to urge government to do everything possible. Anybody wants to go and protest, let them go and do their protest. And let them go home. So that after 12 or 9, let them see them protesting and then manage it.
Thank you so much. We need to give room for other callers. Thank you so much. Franca, you want to say something?
Okay, so I don't have a problem with what he just said, but you see, the timing is very wrong. If they didn't have to wait till
it got
this bad. So yes, so if they had done this, you said nobody's listening because of the timing. Because now it's looking like, oh, you're doing this because we're saying we want to do this. If they had done this 3 months ago or 2 months ago, I don't think anybody would have said, oh, there's a protest. It won't be associated with the protest. Do you understand? So they should try and start doing things at the right time.
Being proactive.
Being proactive, exactly.
Being proactive. Mercy, let me come to you. Mercy.
All right. I mean, I couldn't agree less, Yes, can you hear me now?
Go ahead. Yes, we can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you, Mercy. Go ahead.
Yes, I said I couldn't agree less with what, Frank has. Yes, I couldn't agree less with what Frank has said. The timing is actually wrong. And this is what I am saying, right? The security is actually government's business. If the people are saying they want to go out and express themselves, you know what happened during the NSAS. So usually when you have an event, you sit back and review. We're expected that, the government should have gone back to the drawing board and done their job. That's why I said that across the entire state, I grew up in an era where there used to be a lot of sensitization. You hear radio jingles courtesy of, the government. Ministry of Information, they carry out all sorts of orientation, keep environment clean, don't engage in violence. So if they had jumped on this campaign,
okay.
I don't think that we probably will be here to educate the people on how to go about all of this and ensure that, we have a peaceful protest.
All right, Mercy, just hold your thought. Let me quickly take, because I don't want to keep the callers on for too long. Nosa is on the call. Thank you for calling. Good evening.
Good evening, my sister. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you for calling.
Thank you for your program. I took my time to listen to the deliberation going on there. One thing I want to say, and I want Nigerians to know, when it is not to favor the airlines, I mean the political class, there's this confusion they set among us. Oh, this is an Igbo man, this is a Yoruba man, this is an Hausa man. But when it is time for suffering, then we all partake in the suffering. As long as the protest is concerned, let people have their rights. Let them go about protesting, provided properties are not destroyed. But one thing I want the government to know, how will the government wait till now before they start calling out for solution? It has been there. People are suffering. I know people who cannot take even a meal a day. So why should we wait till this time?
Thank you so much, Nosa. Thank you so much. You see, the clause about provided is going to be peaceful. I keep on saying it. I'll say it over and over again. If the government wanted to prove to me that, you understand, they were not sponsoring these people that would eventually cause the protest to become chaotic, they would have arrested all these people, threatening people all over the place. The fact that the government is not arresting them means that they have endorsed them. That's the point I'm trying to make, Mercy. That's the point I'm trying to make you understand. You are speaking to the people that have enabled. They are enablers. Because what will give me, as I did like this, the boldness to go straight to say, if you come out, I go burn your shop, I go do that. They will arrest me now. I don't have any backing.
Oh, I read somewhere.
You know what? Let me take another caller. I'll come back to you, Franca. Please don't lose your thought. Mr. Okoti, you're live.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
I've listened to many people comment. But for government to use pension now, we should drop the pop price, maybe to 100 naira or 200 naira.
That's not realistic.
That one will solve a lot of problems.
Oga, that's not realistic.
Because all the food today is food transport.
That is increasing the prices, but that's not realistic. Let's try to be realistic with our demands. Because tomorrow, in fact, we're going to bring down that list, of the demands they've asked. Thank you so much, Okote, for your call. Franca, you wanted to say something. It's unrealistic, 100 naira. From when we're already paying 800 naira.
It's not make
realistic.
Yes. So I was reading somewhere where based on what Mercy said, that the Inspector General should do. But he will tell you he already said something. He came out and said that people who wanted to go protest should come and give them their names. Does that make any sense? You're going to protest, so you should go to the police station. You should go to and go and report yourself
that I'm
part of the people that are going to
so
protest.
So that later they'll go and pick you from your house.
So that's the only thing I've heard from the Inspector General in all this.
Don't forget that the people that protested during NSAS, some of them are still in police custody. That's part of the demands that they are asking for, that they should release them. So Mercy, when I say that these people are being enabled, because I don't understand what will give me the audacity. But go ahead. I will not have the audacity to go and be threatening people because I know that I'll be jailed. Go ahead.
Well, I totally get where you're coming from. I totally understand, your perspective and all of this. Don't forget that I always talk about what is and what ought to be. And that's exactly where I'm coming from. I couldn't, I'm going to mind my words because I'm on national television. I'm, of course, a broadcast journalist. So I would be very cautious. I'll put myself together. But my point here is, this is exactly what it is. That's what we're saying. That the Inspector General of Police and the police should do the needful. Peradventure, they have forgotten their duty. Their duty is to ensure that lives and properties are protected. It is government's responsibility to ensure that there's peace. The people have a right. So what government should be worrying is how to ensure that the criminal elements that we know that they are complicit to, of course we know that because from the body language, they have actually compromised a couple of times. And that's why people are saying, yes, the government is responsible. They are the ones, enabling these persons, to make all of these statements. That's why they're not being arrested. But that's why we're also putting a reminder, peradventure, that they have forgotten, that it is their duty to ensure that the protest is peaceful, that the people are protected, that no life is lost. That's exactly what it should be. You understand? Because how do you tell people that, okay, why don't they tell the armed robbers to come and submit their names? The kidnappers, the bandits. Have they called the bandits to go and submit their names when they want to rob and steal from Nigerians and the kidnappers that are kidnapping? How have the police called them to come and submit their names? Why are they calling on, peaceful protesters to come and submit their name? It doesn't add up in any way. And the government is not trying to solve the problem. Uwa, you always talk about solving issues, from the root. And we have a structural problem. As much as this government will come and say, these issues have been going on for a very long time, there's continuity. This is an APC-led from APC to another APC government. There should be no excuses.
Absolutely.
Right? So if you're not crashing the price of rice to 40,000 naira per bag.
Sorry, Mercy, let me, it's not sustainable. Let me take, I think Pastor Grace, I believe. Good evening, you're live.
Pastor Grace, good evening, my dear.
Good evening. Thank you for calling.
Yeah. You guys are always talking about rice. What about flour? Baking flour.
Oh, wow. I lost you there. So this is why I said that for me, it is not sustainable, right? We know the real cause of, what did they call them? Food inflation, right? Why don't we solve the problem instead of just picking one thing? Because now look at what the government is doing. You are reacting. You're not responding to the situation. You're not being proactive. Wow. Look at what the caller just said now. That we are all talking about rice. There are other things. Because what eventually has escalated the price of bread?
What is rice that the government is always giving now?
Because that's what they're always giving.
Is it not rice
and
that
guess
Nigerian
what?
government
Mercy, guess what? I was telling you. I was telling you what.
Let me take God Day. I'll come back to you. Please don't lose your thoughts. God Day, you're live.
My people.
Good evening.
You see, we can't run away from our image. The truth is that the system has failed. And we don't have leaders. All what we have is criminals. So, in trying to avoid truth, we run into chaos. Go to any market now, you know there's no place for the common man. Marriages are scattering on daily basis. Youth are going into crime because there's no family now that have peace. Look what just happened in Bode Thomas in Lagos. Even if you have a legitimate business, you'll be afraid. So, who will come out now from the government side? Yes, who will come out from the government side and say what is happening is happy? Do you still have school in this country? We still draw ameba, draw lizard, draw cockroach. When people are investing in artificial intelligence,
God, there you don't scatter the entire table.
Has failed us. If they think we the youth will come to sit down and watch, it's a lie. It's a lie.
Calm down.
Now,
oh my God.
It's what? We know them. We know who those who are running this country dry. They should be prepared for us.
Wow. God day. I can feel it. I can feel the anger. But please calm down. Please, I take or beg everybody. Let me take a message. Somebody watching us from Portugal. It says, Uwa, this quote is apt for the Nigerian situation at the moment. An evil man will burn his own nation to the ground to rule over the ashes. This is from Sun Tzu, that famous guy. That is the quote. And the person that sent this message is Ufoma. He's watching us live from Portugal. Mercy, you have a comment quickly, then I'll come to you, Franca.
All right, so this one says, good evening, my dear beautiful sisters of What Are You Saying, #Ways. Federal government's response to planned protests. My dear beautiful sisters of Ways, I beg you all in the name of God, don't be deceived by these things that the government is doing. They are not responding to the planned protests at all. If they can reduce the price of 50 kg of rice to 40,000 naira, then why didn't they do that since? God bless you, Sister Uwa. You are a blessing to this nation. This nation, I beg your pardon. You just hit the nail on the head. You made mention of the government recognizing our problems and proving stubborn to solving them. Why did it have to reach this level of protest before the government can do this? This government cannot be trusted. The price of rice that they reduce is not concrete and genuine. After all these things, later the price will go up again. I smell the rat concerning what the government is doing for now. I rest my case for now. My name is Daniel. He's a very regular fan.
Thank you, Daniel. I think we have Sir Alex on the call. Thank you for calling. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, I to comment.
Oh, sugar.
Yes, I want.
Oh, sorry, we can't hear you. The line is muffled. Maybe if you can try to call again. Quickly, Franca, you wanted to say something.
I'm tired because I'm telling you that this rice thing
is not sustainable.
It's not sustainable because you'll be shocked that from the morning when they don't borrow, they go load rice. Somebody just go load rice. Give them for them to just have
quiet.
Peace,
have you not seen the video going around? Apart from that video, there's a video going around of them tying rice inside nylon and they were throwing it
I am telling you, people just came together to say
2 cups of rice.
To stop supporters.
To stop protesters. They were throwing it. I said, what is this?
Can you imagine? That is the level that do you understand?
Because, let me tell you something. For them to continue to do this, does this not tell you? Because I have heard the former governor of Ekiti, Ayo Fayose, said that there is no way in this country that stomach infrastructure will not continue to be a thing. You understand? Stomach infrastructure has become a thing because people, you have continuously used poverty as a weapon. You have continuously used ignorance as a weapon.
Because that's the only way they can get them to do the things they want to do.
But let me take another caller. Tunde from Bayelsa. You're live.
Yeah, Tunde from Bayelsa State.
Go ahead, please.
So what I'm saying that Inspector General of Police is saying that we should bring the name of the protesters to come out to meet their name. Why is it that when the representative from the House of Assembly to the House of Rep to the presidency and to that of the governorship, when they are stealing our money, this among the masses, anyone asks to go back to that.
Thank you so much. I'm so sad to hear such narrative from your last caller, making reference to other countries and forgetting that this government is a product of demonstration. But why are they anti-demonstration now? Rulers are not leaders, but emperors. Emperors don't have citizens at heart. So sad. That's Raphael from Zaria. Thank you so much, Raphael. Mercy, quickly, in 1 minute, because we ran out of time. Your last submissions.
Well, I don't. So the thing is, I think that I would say that the government needs to be very honest. They're not honest. And when they are ready to solve the problems of this country, they will solve the problems. But on a lighter note, you remember when we arrange bishops, right? A country that can actually arrange bishops, what do you expect? They can arrange protesters to protest against protest. So it's not okay for people to protest. It's okay to have
Mercy, Kuku break the table. The man don't call, say, education. They say they draw alligator. I'm not even a lizard. You call they bring Bishop Bata. Come and break this. If you break the table, sure we will get able to talk tomorrow.
It's really sad. It's really, really sad.
Oh my God. Federal government response to the protest is audio. That rice one is a scam. This is a Miloko, our local government. They have nothing to offer Nigerians. Oh my God. Niyo Mole from Lagos. Thank you so much. You know what, Franca, what's your final thought on this? You're coming tomorrow now. We shall continue. Our lamentation continue. I've told you people this week, our lamentation will continue.
But honestly, I don't even think the government has a solution. They're just trying different things. They're just doing different things.
This stomach infrastructure one, I ain't your off me. So you could sell bag of rice for 40,000. Now you wait, make people they hungry.
I am telling you, it was just a last minute thought.
I wish we could get that Pastor Grace back because she was driving a point.
Yes, because she was saying there's beans, there's rice, there's flour,
tomato,
there's flour, other things.
There are so many yam. There are too many things. But if you really want to bring down the price across board, you said what?
Government always give us.
You say?
She said, "Rice government is giving us rice, so that's why we're discussing rice."
It is well.
That's all right. Rice. But let's also not forget to also address that rice is among the staple food. It's one of the most consumed food amongst households in Nigeria. Whether you're rich or poor, I guess that's why it seems to always be on the front burner of our conversation.
Wow.
All right. It's okay. Thank you so much, ladies. We will continue our own tomorrow. You're coming back tomorrow. If you missed our quote for today, strikes are not merely economic weapons. They are often expression of social and political discontent. We'll see you guys tomorrow again. We'll continue the lamentation at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation from a different angle to your screen. Sure.